Farmer Dre back at it. It's another beautiful day here on the farm, and I want to go ahead and show you guys how the field strawberries have been doing. We got our well house finally done and insulated. I'm still waiting on the electrical company. The engineer was out here. He marked out where all the posts goes. Now they got to come drill them and auger them and finish that up. But we've been irrigating and fertilizing with our generator. With the tractor, we have a pull behind generator. My dad's a electrician. He could tell you all about the amperage and stuff. I just know that we were using our generator to irrigate. We have a PTO driven generator, and we've got a hydrant here. I haven't really showed you guys this part of it yet, but we've been super busy and I haven't been on the farm too much. But now that I'm here today, I want to go ahead and show you guys this. And we got the deer fence installed in the well house, so you guys stay tuned for that. So for the first thing, I want to go ahead and show you guys our well house here. This is just a 20-foot storage container, and we got the well here. This is a 3 horsepower well, 2-inch pipe coming out of the ground. I had them install a hydrant right here, so I got to cover up this ditch here pretty soon because we've gotten down to 30 and 29, but it hasn't gotten down too cold where the pipes get really cold and bust. But in here, this is where we have everything, and so we've been working on. There we go, push it open there just like that. So we finally got this insulated. So with the insulation and the 2x4s, it kind of bring out 6 inches on each side here. But this is the entire well house here. So the pipes come out of the ground over there. Same thing with the electrical. Electrical will come out through there. That's the panel. My dad and I wired this all up and got it going. So this is the plug that comes in when we plug in the generator. So the pipes comes up in here. I had the plumber or the well guy put me 1.25 inch valve there with the pipe to the irrigation when we were irrigating the strawberries. And then I put this tank in here for whenever we are spraying the orchard and the crops during the summer. Whenever I had to fill up the tank, it takes half an hour to 45 minutes at a regular hydrant to fill up 500 gallons. So I bought this 625 gallon tank in here. So what I'm going to do with this, I'm going to get like a 2 or 3 horsepower pump and drop it in there, electric pump, and come out with the pipe with 90 out to the outside of the container. So whenever I do go and spray the orchard or the crops, depending what it is, I'll just back up the sprayer in there, hit a switch, and the tank should be full in a couple minutes, less than 5 minutes out of this tank, instead of waiting that 45 minutes until the tank does fill up out from a regular hydrant. So time is money, so the less time you have to spend waiting on something, the quicker you get your job done. So this is the well house. We still got to get everything finished. I want to get the entire system here done with all the fertilizer injectors and all the different sections, because we are running irrigation to the our 3rd block of trees and orchard, and then we got the blueberries on that side, so we have to do that. So yeah, it's a work in progress. It just takes time and one project at a time. But the strawberries are here, they're growing nicely, so let me go ahead and show you guys those. But first, I want to talk about this deer fence here. So I've been doing quite a bit of research on how to keep deer out of your crops, and as you guys remember last year, I did use the Irish Spring bar soap. So that soap, it helped out, but it wasn't, it doesn't really scare out the deer. Whenever the deer come, they just kind of sniff it, and if there's nobody around, they go ahead and continue walking. But with this deer fence here, I'll explain what I did here. And I saw this out of my fruit production book back when I was at Missouri State, and they were talking about a fence like this, but it was different. They just got some horse panels and put them at a 45-degree angle. So I was thinking, I was like, man, what can I do to do this? So then I saw some other videos on YouTube and saw how they work out. So what the idea behind this is, you have a fence here, just a regular electric fence, and deer, since they have their eyes on their side of their head, they can't see distance real well. I don't think they can see distance at all. So whenever they come up here, and let's hypothetically say I'm a deer, I walk up here, I can't tell if that second wire is over here or over there. So then they're really scared to jump over just because they can't tell how far that other fence is. And so this is electric wire, so it's hot. It's a hot wire. So let's say they're scared to jump and they come up here and touch it, and if they touch this wire, they get instantly zapped, so then they run away. And I've heard that, this helps out just as much as a 8-foot fence. So I'm trying it out for the first time here. All this poly and the connectors and stuff, we have the T-post. It cost me around $100, so it wasn't much. There's about 2.5 acres of the berries here that are built around with this whole deer fence here. So since I unplugged it, because I was like, man, I don't want to get shocked before I came here. And with this, we don't really have a gate, so whenever we do come here with the tractors and sprayers and stuff, I would have to drop the poly to the ground there and then just run over it. But so far, the strawberries have been doing really well. And by the way, we only had a little bit of deer issue in the back block there on a few of the rows there. I mean, I think we lost like 10 or 12 plants. It wasn't much. I mean, the plants will continue growing from the crown, but that 10 or 12 plants was too much for me. So I was like, you know what? We got to do something about it. But the strawberries here, they have been growing. So as you guys know, these first 5 rows are Rocco, and then the 25 rows here are Chandler's, and then 2 rows of Camarosa there at the end. So we went ahead and amended the soil with dry fertilizer before we planted, and we amended this. We keep feeding through the drip system. So these Roccos here are growing really well, real nice. We still have probably 4 to 5 weeks, I'm hoping, of good warm weather where the plants will keep actively growing before it gets too cold and they just start acclimating to go into dormancy. So some of these leaves here, these plants are really healthy, growing nicely. And one thing that I noticed about these Roccos is that they don't send out as many runners as the Chandlers here. So these are the Chandlers on this side. As you can tell here, we got to come through once again and start pulling off the runners there. They just keep pumping out runners. And I've heard that if you have a lot of runners in the fall, your plants are happy and you'll have a decent crop in the spring. So we are on very good term here. And these Chandlers have just been growing. These Chandlers are already about double the size of the plants that I had last year before we threw on the row covers. So I am very happy, very satisfied with them. First of all, the mulch layer and how the bed's formed out, and then of course the grass is growing in between the rows here. So it's just it's beautiful. So I was out here, I believe yesterday, and on some of these Roccos, since Roccos are an early variety, they do tend to, you know, they're about 15 days earlier than the Chandlers here. And one thing that I saw in some of these Roccos, there's a few flower buds that I saw, and a flower open bloom I think I saw. I forgot on which row here, just looking at the crop. But just beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. I don't think there's any on this side here, but yeah, since they are earlier, they go ahead and they're starting to flower. So whenever we come through and pull off runners again, I gotta come through and pull off the flower buds, since you don't want to flower them in the fall. You want all the energy to go to the crown. But these Chandlers here, we got to come through and pull off runners again. So there is a lot of runners. Happy plants. And the grass is growing really nicely in between the rows here, so it's going great. I've learned so much from last year that hopefully this year I did something right. So that's just how it is. So like this plant right here has 3-4 runners on this side, and other plants don't have any runners, so it just depends on how the crop is looking. And one thing we're going to do this year, or this fall, is before we throw on the row covers here, I'm going to come through and clean out all the holes. So you guys see how there's grass and then some clover growing over there. We're going to have to come through and inspect the plants and pull out all of the there, so we go ahead and clean up the plants. Because if you guys remember last year, I had terrible issues with the weeds. First of all, from that grass that I done messed up and sprayed, but also the grass inside of the holes there. So, or the weeds inside the holes there. So it's looking real nice out here. So we hopefully can keep the deer out of here, and then we won't have any more deer issue, and then we can just keep the plants fertilized and watered, and just keep the plants happy, keep them growing. And in a couple more weeks, or 3 to 4 weeks, maybe a month, I'm hoping for a month, we're gonna go ahead and start throwing the row covers on. So with the row covers, whenever the average temperature reaches between 20 and 25 degrees, the average low temperature, we go ahead and throw on the row covers. And since row covers are such a labor intensive job, whenever we put them on, we go ahead and leave them on until spring comes around. So it's going to take 5 or 6 of us come out here and throw those row covers on over these 2 acres here. So there's no point of putting them on, taking them back off, putting them on, because it's just such a labor intensive job. So once you put them on, you go ahead and leave them on until the spring. But look at these plants, just gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous plants here. So just beautiful, 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 beautiful. These Roccos, I am very surprised at these Roccos, how well they're growing, and I'm just loving it. So we'll see how they yield, we'll see how the plants do in this area, and if they do do us good, and we have real good success with them. I think we'll have a lot more of these going in the ground next spring, and we'll see. And then North Carolina State did come out with another new variety this year. It released at the same time as the Rocco, called Liz. Ripens about the same time as Chandler, but I've heard it's just a workhorse, so it'll just keep producing those yields until the end of the season. So we'll see how it goes, but I am very happy, very excited about these Roccos. So over here, since we do have an existing fence, all I did is 5 foot apart from the existing fence, I went ahead and put up 1 strand of this poly wire here, 5 foot every 50. The posts are 50 foot apart here, and it's 5 foot from the other fence here. So like I said, whenever deer come up to it, they can't tell what the distance is between the fences. So then they most likely are not going to jump because they don't want to take the risk. And it is hot wire, so if they do touch it, they're going to get zapped. So this time of year, it's beautiful outside. I mean, we're finally getting a fall. Last year, I clearly remember this because it got down from like 60 degrees on a Friday afternoon, and then that Sunday night it got down to 9 degrees. I believe it was November 9th or 10th. So this year the forecast, I looked at the 10-day forecast, and the night temperature or the low temperature is still up in the 40s and 50s. So the longer the fall, the better yields you'll get in the spring, because more of those crowns will be developing. So it's just it's beautiful out here. Just look at that. One nice thing about the annual ryegrass, it's super soft. A couple more days here, we'll probably have to come through and mow it for the first time, but it's super soft, super delicate grass here, so it's going to create a very nice mat for the customers when they come out to the farm to U-pick. So one thing I got to keep in mind, and I remember this last year on the strawberries on the other side of the farm there, I didn't start having a lot of deer damage until the first or second frost came. And the reason is, and this is what I'm thinking, that once all the other plants and all the green stuff die off due to the frost, then the plants, the only thing that's green out here is the strawberry plants. So then the deer come and find this, and then they just have at it, and then it destroys our yields and our crops. So hopefully this deer fence does us well. And if you guys have any better ideas or any other ideas about deer fence or anything, I know an 8-foot fence around the whole property would work, but we keep on pushing down trees and growing the farm, so it's kind of hard to build, and it's really expensive to do that. So this fence, like I said, less than $100, you get a good quality deer fence. I guess we'll see how it turns out. Covers about 2.5 acres here. So this is gonna be pretty much it for today. Just a quick little strawberry update, and we got the deer fence done, and it's just a beautiful time of year. We're still doing slow odd jobs here around the farm, but as you guys know, I'm uploading every day now. So if you guys want to help grow the channel, go ahead and hit that subscribe button, go ahead and smash that like button if you guys enjoyed today's video. Don't forget that I'm coming to you guys every day until I hit 10,000 subscribers. So I want to say thanks for watching up to this point. You guys have a good day, and I'll see you tomorrow.